Hey guys, I'm back. It's been a while since I posted my last video, so sorry that I haven't posted lately, but I'm back and I hope you all missed me. I missed you guys. But all that matters is today I'm here with a new video, and that video is an NBA video. Today, since the NBA season is just around the corner, which I'm really surprised about actually, the 2021-2022 NBA season is coming up, so I'm going to be making my predictions as I always do with I don't usually actually make predictions at the beginning of the season for NBA. I did this year for NFL, so I might do this like as a yearly thing maybe. But yeah, anyways, let's get right to the predictions. All right, so we're going to start with the Western Conference. So firstly, these are the teams I believe are going to make the playoffs in the West. Starting with the Lakers at first place. I think they're the best team in the West. The Jazz I have at second in the West, and they were first last year, so I think they're still going to be good. The Mavericks, I think they're going to step up. And the Warriors, they have Clay back. I think they're going to be fourth. And the Nuggets, they're going to have Jamal Murray back. I think, though, the West is just very competitive, and that's also why the Clippers are also going to be a little bit of a lower team this year. Same with the Portland Trailblazers. It's just very competitive, and even the Phoenix Suns, who made it to the finals last year, I think they're going to be the 8th seed. I know a lot of people are going to be surprised about that, but the West is just it's full of great teams, and the East is too this year, but we're going to get to that in a moment. So these are the teams I think are going to make the playoffs in the Western Conference. And of course, I also have to talk about the snubs for the Western Conference, because usually I have people angry in my comment section about I didn't have their favorite team making the playoffs or whatever, or I had them with a bad record. So I'll just explain quickly why these teams aren't going to make the playoffs, in my predictions at least. So starting with the Pelicans, I think they're a great team, but losing Lonzo Ball was a big loss. But I think Zion's going to step up definitely next year. And I think it's the same thing with the Grizzlies. Didn't really lose any players, but Ja Morant, he's going to step up. But the West is just so good this year. I don't think either of those two teams is going to make the playoffs, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do. The Kings, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. And the Timberwolves, I think they're kind of rebuilding, but also kind of contending. I wouldn't say they're contending, but... And then you have the bottom of the Western Conference, the Spurs, the Rockets, and the Thunder. So these are the teams that I don't think are going to make the playoffs. All right, so now we're going to move on to the Eastern Conference. These are the teams that I think are going to make the playoffs in the East, starting with the Nets. I think they're the best team in the East. Then we have the Bucks, the champions, the reigning champions. And then third, I have the Bulls. I feel like people are underestimating how good they really are, because signing DeRozan and Lonzo Ball was really big, and you can't even forget Caruso. I'm not even joking about that. He's been playing really good in the preseason so far. I think the Heat are going to be back to their normal self, their 2020 self in the bubble. And the Boston Celtics, I think that's my team, but I think, I feel like this is the first year I've actually not been confident that we have zero chance of being contenders for the championship this year. I think, we're going to be in the playoffs, but I don't know. We have a new coach, though, so that makes me a little bit more optimistic. And then the Sixers, with the Ben Simmons isn't going to be playing for them, so I have them a little bit lower this year. The Hawks, they're going to be good again. And then the Knicks, I have them at the 8th spot in the Eastern Conference. And then these are also my snubs for the Eastern Conference. The teams that are barely going to make the playoffs are going to be the Hornets and the Wizards in my predictions. And actually, when I was planning on making this video in the first place, I thought for sure the Hornets were going to be in the playoffs for my prediction, but actually, I'm surprised. I was surprised when I put in all the wins at the end. I don't know. That's just pretty surprising that I just realized that the Eastern Conference is going to actually be pretty decent this year. So I think the conferences are a little bit more balanced out. And then I also think the Pacers, the Raptors, and the Pistons aren't going to make the playoffs. And then I think the Cavs and the Magic are going to compete for the number one pick in next year's draft. And then this is just, again, an overview of both conferences, the teams that I think are going to make the playoffs and the teams I don't think are going to make the playoffs. And then let's move on to the playoffs. I also thought it would be interesting making playoff predictions, just like I did with the NFL. So, yeah, let's get to the NBA playoff predictions. All right, so here's the playoff bracket. Oh, wait, not the whole playoff bracket. You guys weren't supposed to see that. All right, let's just take it conference by conference and then also explain each matchup before you guys just pause on the full bracket and get mad because, first of all, this is way too early playoff prediction bracket. I would be lucky if I actually predicted if one of these matchups was going to happen. But anyways, for Lakers versus Suns, I think the Lakers are going to win in 5 this year. People thought that the Lakers were going to win 5 last year, but that's my prediction for this year. I think the Warriors versus Nuggets series is going to go to 7 games, but I have the Warriors winning in the end. And then I think for the third time in a row, the Mavericks and Clippers are going to play each other. And this time, Luka is going to win in 7 games. And then for the Jazz versus Blazers game, I think the Jazz are going to win in 5 games. Moving on to the conference semifinals, I think the Warriors are going to pull off an upset. I know a lot of people are going to be surprised about this one, but I think the Warriors are a dark horse contender for the championship this year. So I have them winning in 7 games, and I think the Mavericks are also going to pull off this upset, and they're going to win in 6 games. And then for the conference finals, I think the Warriors are going to win, and they're going to move on to the NBA finals, and they're going to win in 5 games. And then this is the Eastern Conference part of the bracket with the first matchup. I think this is going to be a really interesting one. This is the Battle of New York. But I think in the end, the Nets are going to win in 5 games. For the Celtics versus Heat game, that's like a rematch of the 2020 bubble, the conference finals for that. And this time, I think the Celtics are going to win in 6. And then for Bulls versus the Sixers, I think the Bulls are going to sweep them. I think the Bulls are really good this year. And then for the Bucks versus Hawks series, that's also like a rematch of last year's playoff matchup, and I think the Bucks are going to win that one. And then speaking of playoff rematches, we have the Nets and Celtics in the conference semifinals. I think this time the Nets are going to win again, but I think the Celtics are going to put one more game of a fight up. I think they're going to lose in 6 games. But I think the Nets are going to advance to the conference finals. And then on the other side of the bracket for the East, for Bulls versus Bucks, I think the Bulls are going to surprise everyone. Usually there's like one underdog in each conference. I think the Bulls are going to be that this year. I think people are really underestimating how good they're actually going to be. And I think in the end, the Nets are going to sweep the Bulls because the Bulls don't have that much playoff experience. And I think the Nets are going to win. And they're going to sweep them, and I think they're going to move on to the finals. Okay, so this is my full NBA playoff bracket prediction. You guys can take a screenshot and compare this once the season's over, see what I got right and wrong. I forgot to add, I also think the Nets are going to win the NBA championship in 5 games against the Warriors. So I think the Nets are going to be champions. And yeah, tell me in the comment section, what do you guys agree with? And what do you guys disagree with? And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I really enjoy making prediction videos. And yeah, subscribe for more content. I would appreciate if you guys could leave a like. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video.